Hey, you. Yeah, you, come here. I want to show you. This is what happened last time on the Incorrigible party.
Leaving in the night, Shaft and Shikara slink out of the Paladin camp without a word to Mia and Falzarin. Descending the mountainside and entering the blue light's area of effect, they learn firsthand how powerful its influence can be, even with the protection of the cubes. Approaching the epicenter of the light, the tower, they find it guarded by Titterman's remaining constructs.
And over here? The adventure continues.
The only way I'm going to get in there is to climb up the tower from the backside, but there's stuff all over that. And there's some kind of beast of a mechanical, I don't even know what to describe it as. Bodies and, it's just, it's disgusting.
I can make you invisible, but just you.
Okay. I'm going to put on the Ring of Feather Falling. It does not require attunement. No, it does require attunement. I'm sorry. I mean, I'll have it on, but it doesn't do anything.
Looks great, though.
It does look great. Son of... Now, this tower, if I... thinking back on it, does it look like it was sort of hastily put together? I'm assuming it's not smooth. I mean, there's places I could grab on and sort of climb up this thing. It's worth a shot. We don't have a lot of time. Make me invisible and I'll see what I can do.
If you cannot find a lead box, put the eye in your bag of holding, but only as a last resort. Do not try and carry it.
Do you know what it will do?
I will pull the glove off my hand and show him. It's blackened and wrinkled and looks many years older than it should.
Withered.
What the hell?
This is what it'll do.
What? Hey, put that eye in my bag. Better to test here than for me to test it up there. I hold my bag of holding out. Just dump it in. Don't touch it.
Okay, I will pull the eye out and put the whole box with my hands inside his bag of holding and open it inside there and dump it.
I cringe. I love you, Horic.
And that's the end of Shaft and Shikara.
Maybe not. As you do so you're putting your hands inside of this like extra space, essentially. Now, the bag of holding isn't specifically like another plane or anything like that. It's just simply extra space. So you do so, and you're able to do that. And as you withdraw, no longer contained by the lead of the box, it falls into your bag of holding, Shaft, and the entire bag begins to glow blue.
Brightly or just a dim glow?
So even in the blue of the tower, you can tell that like it's the depth of the blue. It's not even the shade of the blue. It's that pressure begins to seep in over all three of you again in the vicinity of this second eye's effects now. And yes, the bag is completely glowing blue. You all can immediately make me another Constitution saving throw to avoid the effects of this eye.
Whew.
All right.
It's a 20.
23.
Ooh, okay. Horic got a 3, so Horic has 1 level of exhaustion.
Well, that didn't work.
I mean, that gives me the box, the other lead box to go get it, but we won't have anything to put this one in. Is the box big enough to put both eyes in?
It unfortunately is not.
Put the eye back in this box.
Who's gonna grab it?
Can you, do you have to reach in the bag of holding to?
The way the bag of holding mechanically works is you spend your action to pull out an item that is inside of it, to recall it and pull it out.
I'll do it. I'll just reach in and grab it.
Yeah, use your nasty hand.
All right, Shikara, you recall it and make contact with it again. Very quickly put it into the lead box.
Yes.
Fast enough. Okay, actually, you know what? Give me a sleight of hand. Give me a sleight of hand. Let's see how fast you actually really are. With disadvantage.
Oh no! Shit! 11.
All right. You're able to quickly recall into the box and close, and immediately that extra pressure gone as you contain it in the lead.
You must find the other box.
If I can't find a box, I'll be back.
You see Horic like breathing heavily now after that exposure. He like takes a second to catch his breath and holds up his hunter's bow. Hey, let's take
With the bow?
because remember, the bow gives him access to the entire sorcerer's spell list up to level 5. Only able to use those spells one time. Dimension Door is on that list.
All 3 of us.
That can how long does Dimension Door, let me look it up. How long does Dimension Door stay open? I think it's
it's essentially an instant teleportation. Okay, so Horic can bring along objects as long as their weight doesn't. You can also bring one willing creature of his size or smaller who is carrying gear up to his carrying capacity. Yes, so you will only be able to take one of you.
Well, I have Pass Without a Trace on. If we get to the top and there's nothing up there, there's a good chance we can sneak in. So I'll reach my hand up on his shoulder. I go, are you ready to do this?
Do you want to be invisible? I am very low on energy.
Make Horic invisible. They'll see him and I can hide.
So he would have to cast Dimension Door, and then I would cast Invisibility, and then you guys go through the door.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the Hunter's Eye Bow does mean he is actually casting the spell. So that would dispel the invisibility that you put on Horic as soon as he Dimension Doors.
So, I mean, Dimension Door, he can't hold it for a second so I can cast Invisibility? Because it doesn't finish casting until he's through it.
It wouldn't matter, yeah.
Okay.
It wouldn't matter.
Gotcha. Okay. Well then, I don't think that's gonna work.
All right, I will watch out from below.
Let's do this.
Okay. You see Horic, he's got the bow and he just kind of plucks on the string a few times, grabs you by the shoulder, and Shikara, you see both of them just disappear. Shaft and Horic, you appear on the very top of the tower. Now, Horic has never been to the top of this tower, which is fine, because he can see it. All you really need to do is give him like kind of a brief description of it. And as kind of how you were discussing positing how it functions, that kind of conversation is kind of allowing him to like, okay, top of a tower, donut, tripod, boom, let's go. But you pop up there, and because really what you can see from the ground is like the edge of it. So the two of you appear on the edge of this tower, right? Both like Horic kind of arms wielding back, Shaft, you kind of just like grab onto him to keep him from going over the side.
Yeah. Grab his belt. And
yeah,
jump
exactly.
back.
Shikara, what are you going to be doing in the tunnel? Are you remaining away from the opening so you're invisible, or are you trying to get up there to watch, or like what's going on?
I will get as close as I can to the edge and stay there for the most part, but every once in a while I'll move forward a little bit just to see what's going on.
Give me a stealth check with disadvantage.
Do I have double disadvantage on that? 13.
As you get closer to the opening, you start to hear the sound, the suction cups of the oaken bolters on the side of the tower, and the steps of the monstrosity that Shaft had very briefly described to you. Now, you're not quite peeking over, you're just going to slowly keep creeping up. So we'll periodically come back to you, just in case something happens. Shaft and Horic, so you have found yourself, you're on top of the tower, right? And the whole tower is I think it had the 50-foot diameter of it, right? So it's a very large building. The top, it doesn't taper. It's like this same width the whole way up. So you're up there, and you have flashes of the Chimera battle swooping down on the top of it, right? And you being paralyzed as the Neogi-hold monster on you and getting torn into by the Chimera. But now there's just nothing up here. No bodies, nothing except that 4-foot tripod over that hole in the ceiling of the tower, just as you had kind of pictured it and posited that how it would be set up. Here now, you are like in the epicenter of the tower's effects. And again, that pressure this close to it seeps into you, right? Your cube now, you can feel even in your bag of holding. And like in Horic's bag, the cubes are getting red hot, working overtime, stopping the effects of it. Clearly, the construction of them really, their maker, which you could again surmise would be Elsoft Tinderman, never dreaming of them having to function through so much pressure and drain on them. But you were alone. You can still hear the suction cups now louder than ever a dozen feet below you as they are rotating the side of the tower.
I run over to the table with the lead box on it, pick it up, and put the eye inside of it.
You see no such box.
Is there? I assume there's stairs that lead down.
Yes, if you recall, there is the spiral staircase that runs the inner circumference of the tower all the way to the bottom.
Okay, so I'll grab Horic and say, duck down, let's go. This way, the stairs. And head to the stairs as fast as possible.
Well, so you're on the roof, and the tripod is right in front of you. So you're gonna go in and try to look around?
Yeah, I've got to go find a box. I can't touch the thing.
All right, and from when you were in here before, there's no other levels to this tower. It's the top and the bottom, and then the stairs in between. So as you start to descend, on the walls, the etchings and the sigils are just alight in blue, like a flame, a blue flame. That same thickness of the light. Once you're inside the tower, you can again feel it, and you are literally having to force yourself through this physical it's like a barrier of light. If you were to close your fist in it, you can't close your hand over anything, but physically moving through it, there's just so much resistance. Looking down to the bottom, 100 feet down, 80 feet, 70 feet as you descend, at the bottom there's nothing. There's no tables, there's nothing down there. There is that shallow indentation in the ground. If you had recalled, it had been filling with a bit of rainwater from when you were here previously because of the opening at the top. It is deeper now. It's like as if it's been hard packed and pressed further down from the almost like the weight of the light itself is slowly pushing further and further into the dirt and the rocks and the crust of this continent.
I'm just looking through to see if there's any options that I have here. Now that there's no box. Okay, so I'll stop about once I get down far enough on the steps that I realize there's nothing at the bottom. And I sort of, push back on Horic. There's nothing down here. There's no box.
The hell are we gonna be doing then?
We got a couple choices. We go out the front, haul ass as fast as we can. Can you do that thing again with the bow?
Be used up.
It's a one-time thing.
The way the thing worked, you give it to me. We really need a stinger. How you be grabbing it then?
You don't want to grab it. We can stick it in the bag. It's going to glow like a beacon. We could go over the side, but we're not going to make it very far. It's how tall?
The tower is 100 feet tall. Hey, you can be making you fly there, Tobias. Again, Horic holds up his bow.
Both of us?
Nay.
And I ask him to explain. What do you mean fly? Like, I can jump off the tower and fly for a little bit.
Yeah, he literally describes the effects of he'll give you the fly spell is what he'll be able to cast. Fly spell. Yeah.
I'm going to remind John that we do know that a second use of the bow has very dire consequences. I do not recall what they are. I just know Horic probably will be out of use for the rest of the campaign.
3 spells per day. First, no effect. Second, 4th level, exhaustion.
Ooh, he's already got 1.
That would be death, right?
I think 5th... No, the 6th is death.
His speed's reduced to 0. And he still has to make checks against the blue light while we're in it.
Yeah, you'd have to literally carry him out.
Now, I guess I'm aware of... I do some magic, so
sure.
When Falzarin explained how these things worked, I would... I don't know if that's a good idea. If I remember right, Falzarin said there were some pretty bad consequences for messing with that thing. That's sort of why I put it out of my mind.
Yeah, but if you need it, you need it back. I'll be doing it for you, Tobias.
That's a true friend.
The catching orb.
So those bad boys need to recharge yet. They recharge at dawn.
Okay. Then there's no point in thinking about that either. All right. The symbols and stuff on the wall. If I was to do something, say, what kind of weapons does Horic have? Does he have something big?
He's got an axe, yeah.
I wonder if he destroys one of those symbols of some kind, it would cause the tower to stop operating correctly. I'm gonna ask him, hey, let's go down those symbols on the wall. Let's make one of them unreadable.
Horic kind of smiles and you kind of get what you're thinking. He pulls out his great axe, and they're on the entire inside of it. You could walk all the way around the stairs and be hitting one of these dozens and dozens of sigils spread across the 100 feet of the inside of them.
Then let's go up towards the top then.
All right. So you're going to go up to the top. Kind of, I imagine it's just below, essentially the highest one you get to, right? Which is just below the ceiling, the donut ceiling, right? So, and Horic will draw out his axe and he'll start to chip into it, just full on swinging into the stone. And as he does so, that blue flame starts to flare with every hit, right? Sending blue sparks as he does so. 1 strike, 2nd strike, a 3rd strike, and you see he's starting to mar and cut into the stone across the sigil. On the 4th strike, he fully slashes through it, just bisecting the stone. Again, it's shallow, but it is enough to mar the etching. And that fire kind of blasts out, and he has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, shit.
He gets a 7.
Can I try to grab him?
Yeah, okay. You want to make me... how about you also make me a dexterity saving throw? And if you make it, you'll be able to grab a hold of him as he kind of gets blasted back.
Falling 100 feet.
21.
So Horic will take, because he failed, so he was going to take 13 fire damage. And as he starts to wheel back again, for the second time in less than 5 minutes, you grab his belt once more and just pull him back to the wall.
Yeah, I think we press both of our backs up against the wall on the steps, breathing sort of heavy, and sort of watches the what's happening with the emblems starts to take place. And I look up at him with this worried look on my face, maybe this wasn't such a great idea.
And this sigil no longer a flame. It's completely snuffed out, and it's as if it's regular stone. There's now just a big long scratch cut through it from Horic's axe. Now, there are a large number of them in here, so you don't notice an immediate effect by taking out only a single sigil. But you have seemingly deactivated this etching.
The beam doesn't seem to have dimmed or anything.
Again, you could count there's probably upwards of 30 of these sigils etched into this tower, and by getting rid of a single one, nothing immediately noticeable.
If I look back up to the tripod where the eye is the, and I'm sorry if you described this before, but is the eye hanging off of something?
Think of a miniature version of the donut ceiling. There's like a hole that, a curve of this eye. The eye looks like a big chunk of glowing sapphire is essentially what it looks like. So a portion of it is kind of housed in that ring, and the three tripods kind of extend upwards. Is almost like it's like a claw, like 3 finger claws, like holding this thing in what would be the palm of this like 3-fingered hand. And inspecting it a little closer, you can make out that there's a line or a radiance of blue that is being directed down into the tower, and as it makes it to like the levels of the sigils, that expands. Again, like you think of like the beam of a flashlight. If you were to draw the beam of a flashlight, right, it just opens up and gets wider and wider and wider until everything is blue, and it's like a wall of blue.
Trying to figure out if I can somehow just put the bag over it without getting beamed.
You would definitely be able to get it into your bag of holding without physically touching it. It's as simple, like you say, it's simply like kind of loop the bag over, kick the tripod over. Like you could do that, no problem, without physically making contact to it.
Just won't do any good.
It will just, on your person, you will still be affected.
Yeah, be glowing.
Right.
And hurting, yeah.
And everyone around him, right?
Yeah, you saw within the immediate vicinity of when you opened the box, it affected all 3 of you, yeah. Kind of standing around it.
So I still have Pass Without a Trace going. I'm going to look over the edge. Those, as the oaken bolters, are they sort of like just going around in a circle like a timed type of thing, or something I could sort of get an idea how long I had from the time that as soon as they go around the corner before I could get down?
Sure. Yes, and again, like it's a very long way around. So there are 3 of them, if you recall, from when you originally came, and all 3 of them, they're at like different varying heights too, right? It's not like the 3 of them in a line at a single elevation. So I would say the lowest one is probably halfway up the tower, so like 50 feet up. Another one at like 60, and then another one at 70. So there's like 10 to 15 feet apart between the 3 of them, and they're kind of just each slowly doing their own rotated ring, a little offset from each other. But you definitely can peer and like see gaps in the rotation, absolutely. Essentially, it looks like the goal of this rotation up here for the 3 of them is so that there is always somebody able to see like 360 around the tower, right? Because that's what they're like, the Overwatch up here.
I have nothing. Well, we could do the stupid thing, or we could do the smart thing. Well, there's really no smart thing. The dumb has outweighed all the smart.
The dumb or dumber thing?
Yeah. So we could trying to grab it and try to get down the side of this tower is not wise. I think we're going to have to reassess the situation and find a lead box. So I look back at Horic and say, we can climb down, and one of those things is probably going to get us. Or we head out the front door as fast as we can and try to get back to the tunnel and hope nothing sees us. I mean, except for the 2 things beside the door, of course.
They're
both really, really bad. But we've been in worse spots before, right?
He kind of chuckles at that.
This front door it is. And We go down the steps.
You descend.
Mm-hmm.
Shikara, you continuing to creep to the edge here?
Yeah.
From below, you don't really hear or see anything other than the constructs moving around. So like when you're witnessing and when you're witnessing like while the sigil's getting destroyed, you're not noticing any like diminished effect either from outside or anything like that. So it, like as far as you're concerned, it's like they haven't done anything. Like the tower's not down, so you don't know that they clearly haven't grabbed the eye. So you're really not sure what they're doing or if they're up against something. But you certainly don't hear any signs of combat. The constructs outside and the oaken bolters above have not reacted to anything else.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. If I do see them run out the door, if I could see that, can I see that from my position at all?
I mean, that again depends on if you're going to crawl up to do the prairie dog yourself or what.
How long are they in there? How long am I waiting?
I would say it's probably only been about 5 minutes or so. Like, they're not spending too much time up there, right? Like, they popped up, they kind of assessed the situation, they destroyed a sigil, Horic almost died, and then they've climbed some stairs. So, like, 5 minutes.
If it gets to 10 minutes, I'll pop my head up.
Okay, so these two guards that were animated, correct, when we were there before.
Yeah, like, you've seen them fight.
They have seen me.
Yes, that's as have the oaken bolters, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to walk down to the front door and the inside. Is it locked from the inside? Is there some...
No, it doesn't. Like, there is a bar that you, I believe, had put across it in preparation of the second wave of attacks here, but it's not locked up or anything. Like, you could just push it open.
I'm going to open the door with Horic. Before I open the door, I'm going to look back at Horic and go, just follow along. And I wink at him. And I open the door, and I look back at him, and I go, yeah, it was too easy. And I just sort of walk out the front and go, I can't believe the security around here is terrible. And I look over at the guys, and I'm like, we walked right in. I mean, aren't you guys supposed to be protecting this thing?
Shikara, you very plainly hear this. So when you pop your head up, you see Shaft and Horic just stroll right out the front door. The two stone defenders are on to the left and the right of the door. Now Shaft kind of in between them. Now you're saying this and you're just moving forward. I imagine you're not stopping.
Not stopping. I was walking out, and I'm talking to Horic, explaining to him how upset I am with this current situation. Saying, Samuel's gonna be pissed when he hears about this.
If one of those guardians starts to attack, I want to cast darkness.
So as you're doing the Shaft, you and Shikara, you see that you clearly woken them up now. They activate, and they kind of stand upright, and that big concrete slab they kind of put to their side, and the voices from them start up again. No, not you again. Get out of my dreams. Get out of my head. From both of them, right? Different voices from both of them. And we'll be rolling initiative. So Shaft, as you've seen the stone defenders like move and react, right? As their shields have kind of come down to their side in more of a ready position. You can see that they're actually still quite damaged from the previous defense of the tower. I mean, if you recall, Mia had dropped an entire 50-foot scaffolding with like the spikes, right, that have been used to build this monstrosity collecting the corpses, but they're still pretty damaged from that fight as well.
Okay, that's good to notice. I have an 11 for initiative.
I have a 10.
At the top with Horic. Horic kind of, as you've kind of run out, he takes a bit of he stops to briefly give both of these stone defenders a once over. So he's actually going to make a perception check here, in which he gets an 18. Okay. And he kind of points, drops one hand off of his bow and points at the stone defender to the right of the door, which is marked as stone defender 2. Hey, I was looking at in the display there. There's a bit of a scraptub.
Yeah, that's it's not good. These guys really aren't very useful.
And then Horic's gonna continue. He's just gonna run. I think dash to the tunnel hole where the storage tent used to be.
Yeah, go get the captain. We'll talk to him when he is more informed on what's going on here.
The cadaver collector is next, and it is going to chase after Horic, seeing his quick movement. So it's moving about as fast as Horic is. It moves 30 feet, gets within 30 feet of him, and it's covered in bodies, right? Spikes protruding from its frame. It's a chorus of voices coming from it. More than just a single voice. All of those, the same voices you heard from, like, the Cobras. Just not quite in sync either, right? It's almost as if they're like competing with each other to be heard, as it's clearly a piecemeal of whatever was left, right? But its hinged mouth kind of falls open, as if a latch was almost like pulled, right? It doesn't move like it's, like a flesh being's mouth is able to be controlled properly, but it just kind of like falls open and emits this gas out, just enough in this 30-foot cone, close enough just to hit Horic. So Horic will have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Come on, Horic.
Of which he got a 1.
Oh no! It's nice knowing you, Horic.
So Horic is mid-run, right? And he gets caught in this gas and starts coming. And then he just freezes in place, paralyzed. Oaken bolters, as they are up top on the tower rotating, you see one of them, it's like 60 feet upright, as the three of them are at varying heights, kind of making these rings around it. Currently, you can only see one based on the curve of the tower. Both Shikara, or all three of you, right? Shikara, Shaft, and Horic. Although Horic can't really see much.
Unless Horic has eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah, what's in front of him, I guess he's facing Shikara. But yeah, this one of the Oaken bolters comes around, and Shaft, you can just see it above you, right? It pauses as it turns to you, and you can see that it's looking over you. It's like as if it's like inspecting you. If you'd like, you can give me an insight check.
4.
Okay. You're not really sure. Like it's to you, it's as if it's hesitating, but then it opens its draconic metal mouth, right, and will fire 2 bolts at you. An 11 with one of them, which is a miss, obviously, and a 21 with the second.
21 will hit. Unless, let me see how many luck points I have. I'll have 1 left. I'm going to save it for later.
Okay. So you'll take 15 piercing damage from that. And these are like 3-foot long bolts, right? As one just kind of hits the ground right in front of you, and the second one catches you. Next, though, is you, Shaft.
Okay. I see Horic freeze in place in this massive cadaver pile rolling towards him, and I can't even get to him if I dash. With this oaken bolter looking down at me, I'm going to turn back towards the tower. I'm going to run dash, or not dash. I'm going to run 25 foot into the tower and shut the door behind me. Spinning around after I get 10 feet in, and I'm going to throw down as my action the portable pit, right in front of the doorway.
Okay. Forgot you had this.
So, as a reminder, if we want to go, you can use an action to unfold the portable pit, place it against a solid surface, presumably a floor or ground, whereupon the portable pit creates an extra-dimensional pit 10 feet deep with spikes at the bottom. Additionally, the pit magically conceals itself, creating an illusionary surface that is virtually identical to the surface it was placed upon. So we'll see how that plays out.
Very good. Shikara.
So even if I dash, I can only go 30 feet because I am at 2 levels of exhaustion, which would not get me to Horic. How much do I care about Horic? That's really the question. I'm going to pop out of the stupid tunnel and I'm going to cast Scorching Ray at 2nd level. Not at Horic, by the way. That's a Corpse Collector. 17 for the first one.
Hits.
9 for the second one.
Miss.
And a 20 for the third one.
All right, there we go.
19 points of damage total.
You have certainly got its attention.
Yay.
Stone Defenders. At the very bottom. Shaft, you just hear a smashing against the door as both of them break through. As you didn't bar it, right? You kind of just close it and then through the pit, right? So they easily get through. And see, once they completely destroy the door, it doesn't seem that they're not too bright, as they don't even try to open it. They just smash through it, the obstacle in their way. It's at the threshold, right? Again, it takes a moment to look at you, like as if it's looking like head to toe. And this one steps forward right into the portable hole.
Awesome.
So, sorry, how deep is the hole?
So it's 10 foot deep with spikes at the bottom. If a creature walking over falls into the pit, takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage from the fall and an additional 2d10 piercing damage from the spikes.
All right, roll it up.
Okay, so from the pitfall, he takes 1. And from the spikes, 5. Both the lowest I could possibly roll.
Oh, jeez.
But that's okay. Let's hope the other one's just as dumb.
So 10 feet deep, it does completely fall in there, right? It's these things are only stand about 6 feet tall.
The walls of the pit are smooth and silky, requires a DC 15 athletics and sufficient movement check to ascend and escape from.
Okay. The second stone defender then essentially steps to the threshold. Sorry, the portable hole is 5 by 5, like it takes up a square on a map.
5 feet wide.
So it is smart enough to sidestep this. I'm going to get it to do a check, though, because you have it right at the threshold of the door, right? It's only the door itself is only 5 feet wide, so it has to contend with the side of the tower, right? And moving kind of diagonally.
It says shimmering illusionary surface. A successful DC 15 intelligence wisdom check reveals the shimmering edge.
Okay, well, I mean, it just watched the first one fall into nothingness. Although, okay, I'll get it to do it.
Knowing where the edge is,
because
right?
it doesn't know where the edge is. Okay, so, that is a that is a -2.
I like it.
Okay, it has no idea where the edge is, so it's not going to move forward then. Okay, well done. I mean, it's stopped for now here.
Okay.
Why don't you give me a perception check on this one too?
15.
You can see on this one, like, just as badly damaged as the one that fell in the pit was now. I suppose a little less so from the minimal pit damage. But this one too, like, pieces of its metal armor has kind of been peeled off, right? In places it looks like it's been tried to, like, be patched up. But specifically though in its chest, the covering, right? You're familiar with what it is because of the time you took to look over at the cobras that had been destroyed, right? After retrieving Nina's soul sack. Its cover is not flush. Like, it is open on one side. Mm. Someone had tried to, like, tamp it down, but the metal is flexed and warped there. Clearly a weakness in it. And unfortunately, back to the top with Horic, who's paralyzed. Does get to try to repeat the saving throw here, though. That is only a 7 for his Constitution saving throw. So he remains paralyzed. And the cadaver collector can now get within 5 feet of him. Easily able to grapple Horic as he is paralyzed for one of his attacks. Essentially grabs Horic by like one of his legs, like he has seen this thing do while it was dragging corpses. And it just picks Horic up and slams him onto itself, onto some of these spikes. So I will do an attack roll here, although with advantage because he's paralyzed, which is like a 28.
Oh no.
So Horic is going to take 20 piercing damage on top of the fire damage he already took when he destroyed the arcane sigil. And now, in addition to being paralyzed, Horic is restrained on this creature. Bolters.
Alas, poor Horic. I knew him well.
In response to what's going on here, Shikara, you see the other 2 bolters that have now circumnavigated this tower. One of which needing to spend to dash to view what is happening here. But 2 of them can now see Shikara. And only Shikara, as Horic has become one with the cadaver collector for now. So that means there's going to be 4 bolts coming at Shikara, 2 from each.
I know he's your friend and everything, honey, but Shikara's running.
I don't blame you.
Okay, I only think 2 of these hit, because one is an 18.
AC is 18.
Okay, so an 18, a 26, and then the other 2 is only an 11 and a 16. That's still going to be 30 piercing damage from both.
Mine is 6, though.
Both bolts. That's true, yeah, because there's two different sources of piercing damage. But Shikara, you're up.
Shikara's running back into the tunnel and dashing down 15 feet. Down the tunnel. Is there anything left in the tunnel? Any big objects I could hide behind?
No, it's just like small pieces of debris still, really.
I can make myself small. I'm not a big dragonborn anymore. I'm just a little hexblood.
Shaft, you're up.
I will take out my longbow and try to put a couple arrows into this stone defender that has that open chest plate. 26 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
He has not been hit yet, right?
He's damaged, though.
Oh, he is damaged. Okay. Well, then let's do 19 points of damage. Second attack, 13.
That one is a miss.
And I'm going to stay where I'm at.
All right, the defender in the hole. So what kind of check does it? It's going to try to climb its way out.
Needs a 15 DC 15 athletics.
It gets an 18.
Ah, damn it! I was betting on. Wait. Can I use luck on that? You have luck whenever you make an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, or when an attack roll is made against you. That's not really an attack roll. I can't screw you out of that. Okay. Damn it. Not that lucky.
It climbs its way up and out and next to you. Again, you see, like, as if it's, now it's like in this new environment, almost like it's taking, it takes that second, it glances up and down you, and then proceeds to attack. If you'd like to give me another insight, you can.
15.
With a 15, like, it's clearly, like, it looks as if it's searching for something, but not finding it. It will take its big concrete slab of a shield and try to slam you twice. First one's only an 11. Second one is a 24. 12 bludgeoning damage. The stone defender outside of the tower, again, they're not too bright. They have a -4 to their intelligence. It steps forward, trying to, as if the illusionary terrain is fine.
Okay.
Into the pit.
Yes! Okay, so damage. 6 damage for the falling, bludgeoning damage. And 15 But look at that, the exact opposite. I had critical fails last time, or the lowest I could roll, and this was both the highest I could roll. So
you can see at your feet, like as this one tumbles into those spikes at the bottom of the portable pit, impaling it, right? And more of its armor on that weakened chest plate is already compromised as it begins to shear off. And you can see partially exposed those black tubules that suspended the soul bag, like Nina's soul bag and the Cobra's, right? You can start to see some of that being exposed now. Horic, the only thing he can do at the end of his turn is try to become unparalyzed here.
Man, won't that be a rude awakening?
That's only a 4 for his constitution. He's not doing
Horic,
well.
come on!
Oh my goodness. Cadaver collector, though.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't need to do anything with Horic. He's collected his potential cadaver. So it will move towards the hole that Shikara retreated into. And with a double movement can get to the mouth of it. And Shikara, you can see, like, from where you are, you're 15 feet further into the tunnel, right? You can, like, see it from, like, the waist down. And the oaken bolters up top don't have a line of sight on anybody. Shaft.
All right, so I'm going to hope you roll poorly, and I'm going to turn on the one that's out of the pit, and I'm going to attack it with my scimitar and short sword. Okay, first attack, 25 to hit, 14 points of slashing damage. Second attack, 19 to hit.
Yep.
20 points of damage. And the last one, 21 to hit, 27 points of damage. That's slashing acid.
Okay, yeah, your acid fully affecting this thing is, and your weapons, you just tear into it. It's still up, but it's like all of those cracks and patch sections of it, like you've just sheared off and widened every fissure in its own armor. One of its slabs kind of slumps to its side as the mechanics of one of its arms completely crippled by your attacks. Shikara.
Oh, and can no, I can't pull out my. For a free action, can I pull out the cube?
Sure. Yeah, you can get a free interact if you want to try to. Well, so unfortunately, the cube's in your bag of holding, right? It takes an action to pull something out of your bag of holding.
Okay.
Shikara.
I'm going to run 15 more feet down the tunnel and lay on hands to heal myself for 25 hit points.
Slow, Shikara. Okay.
Yeah. So when I said run, I really meant like saunter.
Yeah. Oh, right. I'm picturing it more as a hobble, but if you want to use the word saunter, that's okay.
I don't hobble. How dare you?
Stone Defender 1 in the pit is going to try to climb out. Ooh, that's only a 9. It is stuck in there. Stone Defender 2, however, is going to slam. And it's like repeatedly like viewing you, right? Doing that same thing. It's taking a half a second to inspect you almost before it attacks. 25 and only a 10. 13 more bludgeoning from its one arm it can get around on you.
All right, starting to hurt.
Horic. Come on, Horic. Let's go. Let's get out of this.
Come on, Horic, you can do it.
Let's go, buddy.
Because I'm not going to help you.
An 8.
Oh,
An
no.
8 for Horic. Okay. The Collector. Okay. So, it recharges its paralyzing breath. And it is able to get down into the hole within 10 feet of you, Shikara. And it will exhale this breath as it can't quite reach you. So, you can make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
How about a 14?
Ooh, unfortunately, that is pretty far from what you needed. And you...
I do have advantage.
Because?
I mean, inspiration.
Ah.
I do have inspiration. It's the word I meant to use. I think I'm going to have to use it.
Oh, yeah.
17?
Oh. One short of what you
no.
Shit.
But you are paralyzed.
That's it. That's all we have for you. That's our show. Be sure to follow us on the social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all on the website, incorrigibleparty.com. You get all kinds of information there. Incorrigible Party is sponsored by Critical Hit Design, you know. And all ambient sounds and music during the episodes are courtesy of tabletopaudio.com. And our intro and outro music was created by Josh Jarvis. You can find him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. Now scram! Happy adventuring!